And welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well and you are all enjoying this beautiful spring sunshine that we are currently experiencing in the UK. It is absolutely marvelous. It's just clear blue skies and it's day after day after day, and I'm like, what is going on? This is unheard of almost at this time of the year in the UK. So yeah, really enjoying this. But I thought in this vlog we could do a little bit of like a spring refresh, I think, and I mainly wanted to focus on my houseplants. As you can see, I have a lot of houseplants. I absolutely love them. I just think that they really bring like a bit of life to your home. But unfortunately, when we moved house, we actually lost a lot of houseplants. Obviously, I don't know whether it was like the change in the environment or the fact that we had to move during like the coldest months of the year. So a lot of them, it might have been just a bit of a shock. So honestly, I've lost about 50%, if not more, of my houseplants, which makes me really sad. But it does mean that I kind of have the opportunity to almost start afresh. Oh, hello. To almost start afresh, and then we can, create some really nice displays, which is kind of what I wanted to do with you guys today. I wanted to repot quite a few different ones as well, because it's just kind of, a lot of them have got to the point where they just need a bigger space. I wanted to create some cool displays, add to a few terrariums, all of that kind of thing. And I also wanted to mention a few spring crystals that I think would be really nice to work with for this time of year. I'm very much feeling the kind of rejuvenate, please don't eat that, thank you. I'm very much enjoying the kind of rejuvenated feeling that spring is bringing this year. So yeah, I think we should go over some crystals that we can work with that will kind of help to amplify that energy, so we can all get on board with this nice, positive, fresh feeling. So without further ado, let's get into the video. But before we do, please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more nature and calming crystal content. Before we get into the actual planting, I thought I should insert the video footage of me actually going to a garden centre and getting these lovely plants. So I actually went there a couple of days ago. So I'm just going to insert that footage now because it was just so beautiful and I think you'd enjoy seeing it. Spring is definitely springing. There were so many beautiful flowers and plants that were coming out, and yeah, it was just lovely. So please enjoy that before we get into potting up the actual houseplants. So here we are in the lovely garden centre, and as you can see, we have quite a few little kind of terrarium, well, they're called terrarium plants, but you know, you could kind of use them for anything really, but they're just lovely diddy little sizes that I thought would be very handy. So I did pick up a few of those. And here you can obviously see the huge array of houseplants that they have. It was so cool in there. I felt like a kid in a sweet shop. It was great. I would definitely recommend taking a trip to your local garden centre. But all sorts of lovely houseplants. I particularly like this one with all the kind of holes in the leaves. I think that's a type of Monstera. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was really pretty. As you can see, the sun is absolutely shining. So many beautiful flowers were coming out. Oh my goodness, it was just so wonderful. I really enjoyed just having, you know, a bit of time to myself and wandering around and seeing what was about. And now, can we appreciate this massive seed display. It was immense. There were so many different kinds of seeds. I was particularly drawn to the kind of native wildflowers. That's something I definitely want to incorporate into our garden when we get around to doing it. So I really enjoyed picking out a few of these, which I'm going to plant later on in this video, and just kind of get, you know, the spring vibes and the seedlings going, because the weather is definitely inviting those kind of feelings. And here we can see so many more beautiful plants. It was just absolutely glorious and sunny. So yeah, I'm gonna stop wittering on and let you enjoy the rest of this little montage. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I want to start by repotting a few different, well, houseplants. That's what they are, aren't they? But I need to cover up our dining table. What I'm going to do is just put a bin bag on top of the table. I would normally put like newspaper or something like that, but we don't get a newspaper, and I like to hoard all of my magazines, like my country living and home interiors magazines, so I'm not going to rip those up and lay them down. So I'm going to put this down, and then we can get going with the first kind of display slash planter that I wanted to talk you through. Please excuse the mess behind me. We're gonna get to that soon. But I wanted to start off with this kind of first display of plants here. So I picked up this kind of galvanized, oh, sorry for the noises, tray from a garden centre. And it's sort of like a little trough. And I thought it would look really nice on our windowsill as you walk into the kitchen. And I was thinking, because I love gardening and I love kind of flower combinations in pots and things like that, and I thought, why don't we do that with houseplants? We tend to put houseplants in like individual pots, but I thought, well, if you combine a few different varieties and you can make some really nice displays. I know that obviously with houseplants there are a few nuances, because for example you couldn't put something like a prayer plant in with a cacti, because obviously cactuses don't really need a lot of water and that needs a lot of moisture in the air. So I think as long as you pick plants that kind of go well together, you should be okay. And then what I also thought, I noticed in a lot of garden centres and like displays, they tend to have like moss covering the earth, the soil. And I just think it makes it kind of look more finished, more clean. You don't obviously see the dirt, and obviously it's going to be in the kitchen. So I don't want to like sit next to a trough full of mud, even though it will be, but you know what I mean. So I found this sphagnum moss. I got it off of Amazon actually. It wasn't very expensive, and I think what you have to do is to soak it in water first before you use it. I'm not sure how long we have to soak it for. This might be a learning process for all of us involved. It's like cardboard, but yeah, I think you're meant to just rehydrate it. So I'm just putting it in the water now. Let me just show you. So that's some in the water now, and it has, to be fair, that looks way better compared to, look at that, that looks great. And then you're just gonna leave it, let it soak, and then you like squeeze out the water, and then you can use that on top of the soil of your plants. This is kind of reminding me of, you know, when you were a kid, did you ever make potions of mud and plants and water in the garden? This is what it's reminding me of. So yeah, this is the moss, and I'm gonna add it into the bowl, and we can go from there. I have some soil, which I'm slightly nervous about bringing inside because, as we all know, I can be a bit clumsy and I can see myself spilling the soil everywhere. So what I might do is take this galvanized trug outside and sort it out there before making a massive mess inside. Because yeah, I can see that happening. I've filled this bowl with the moss and it is massively expanded. Look at that. Like, there's barely any water left now and that bowl was full. It does remind me of mushy Weetabix though. But I'm hoping this works. This could be quite cool. It's kind of like baking with plant matter. It's very odd. So I'm gonna put that in the middle. And then I also found this. Now this doesn't have a label, but I think it's sort of one of those climbing plants. It's obviously doing quite well. It's got lots of new leaves, and I thought how beautiful and kind of silvery, speckly are they? I thought it was really, really nice. And my vision is that eventually it will kind of tumble down the windowsill, which will look like it will grow down it, which I thought would be really cool. Or even we could like train it up the windowsill, which would also be lush. So yeah, I'm gonna put that one in as well. Okay, very much enjoying that. And then we have this kind of final, oh, doesn't that look really cool? Looks better that way, I think. We have this final space, this end. And as we can see, I've got lots of lovely little bits here. So maybe I could put one of these in there. I quite like this one. I love the fern. So that could actually balance that out quite nicely sat there. So I might plant that one and then line it with all this lovely moss. Look at the mess I've made. Chaos, pure chaos, but fun. Okay, so I've put the sphagnum moss in there and I feel like it's just finished it off really, really nicely. I really like it. I'm very, very pleased with that. I feel like this, it all just looks really nice together. And the good thing about the moss is that it will help to retain the moisture in there. So basically you won't need to water it as often, because I know that these plants do like a certain level of humidity. So that will just help keep them happy and healthy. But I'm so pleased with that. You know when something turns out better than you thought it was going to? I'm really pleased with that. This is the next situation. Can't see me, can you? So we've got a lot of these lovely little terrarium plants, which I thought would just kind of frame this bigger plant really nicely. So this is the big one. I think it's another Calathea, I think that's how you say it. I think it's another one of those type of plants. Yeah, there's no label on this, so I've probably already taken it off. It does need a good water actually. But yeah, it looks quite happy and it's a lovely colour. I love the, again, I have a thing for dappled leaves. I actually bought that from Sainsbury's, that plant, would you believe? These little ones I got from a local garden centre, so you know, it's definitely worth visiting those. And then this is again a galvanized kind of trough, which I got from TK Maxx, and this was a tenner, £9.99. And it's got little handles, and I just thought it's really sweet. This would actually be really nice if you're not into houseplants. This would be really nice to put some herbs in, especially if you wanted to have it in your kitchen. That could be really lovely, because again, it doesn't have a hole in the bottom, but that's fine because I don't want it to, because this, the plan for this is for it to go on like the opposite windowsill. So I kind of want the two troughs to sort of shadow each other quite nicely. So I'm gonna go do what I did last time and put some gravel in this, and probably quite a lot of soil, because these are only tiny little things. and they'll just sit at the top there, kind of spilling over the edges just to fill in the sides. So let's go do that now. Okay, oh, it's heavy now. Didn't pick the best top, did I? A cream top. Okay, so one of the final ones I'm going to do is, this is my kind of idea. So I had this kind of, it's like a mini trough, I suppose. I got it at a local market, and it had hyacinth in it, and it was really, really pretty. They've obviously gone over now, and it's really nice, so I kind of don't want to not use it. And it's quite narrow, so it's perfect to fit on the windowsill in my office, because it's a really narrow windowsill in there. And it's just a nice thing for me to kind of look at as I'm working. I have 3 remaining little terrarium plants. The first one is a monstera, which I think is basically just a cheese plant. But I loved how kind of bulbous this looked. I thought that was really unusual, so I liked that. I've got another one of these. So these are called, yeah, I'm not pronouncing that. That is what it is called. Yeah, you can pronounce that if you like. I'm not brave enough to do that on the internet just yet. And this is an asparagus fern. I know what that one is, but this is quite sweet. I love how feathery the fronds are. So I thought they'd all do quite nicely together in this little trough. So I've already got soil in here, and it's already been kind of lined with gravel, so this should be quite easy. But I think I'm gonna, again, for symmetry's sake, I'm gonna pop the taller one in the middle, and then I'm gonna frame it either side with these ones with the long fronds. Just take those off the bottom, pull it out, there we go, nice and easy. Then this one can sit here. I will show you in a second. Just realised you can't see that far down, can you? Look how nice it's coming along though. I'm quite pleased with this. And then the last one is the monstera, and I kind of am hoping that will, oh, that's been tricky. Come on, there we go. That will kind of like spill out over the edge. Let's bring you down a bit so you can see. There we go, you can kind of not see all the detritus everywhere. So let's fill out the little gaps with soil. And then we can put in our lovely, lovely moss to just kind of seal in any moisture. So we've got a lot of moss left, so I may go round and actually just fill up some other houseplants we've got. So this is the finished result. I really like it. It just looks like a mini jungle. I think it's really sweet, really nice. And so we can go pop these in situation now and see what they look like as the final ensemble in location. finish this video off going back to our roots and taking a look at some crystals that I am kind of working with for spring and this new kind of revitalized, positive, happy energy. I thought we'd just go through a few selected favorites. So I've got them here in front of me. So the best ones to work with during this time of year are for crystals that embody things like renewal, balance, fertility, and growth. All those kind of lovely, happy, positive things where energy is moving, energy is flowing, okay? It's kind of moving in the right direction. And obviously this is mirroring the energy of nature. You know, you look outside, the blossoms are starting to come out on the trees, the lambs are in the fields. It's a really happy, positive time at the moment. Of course, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, then I'm pretty sure I've done a video for crystals around kind of autumn time. So I'll link that below if I have. Anyway, let's get on with it. So to start off with, we have, of course, got to mention green aventurine. So this definitely embodies, you know, that growth and abundance that is just rife at this time of year. It's a crystal of luck, renewal, and new opportunities, and it's really good for manifesting fresh starts, which is, you know, that's what spring's all about. It's good for embracing change and inviting in that kind of prosperity as well. So a good way that you could use this is maybe carrying it with you on a nature walk. That would be really, really lovely. I definitely recommend doing that. You could put this by your seedlings. So if you just planted some like I've just done, this would really help to just invigorate them and get them going and make sure that they have that kind of lovely growth spurt so you can eventually get around to planting them in the garden. Next up, of course, we have to mention rose quartz. So this is all about love and emotional rebirth. It also represents things like compassion and harmony too. So it's really good for sort of opening your heart chakra, attracting kindness and love, and also helps you work on embracing the softer side of life. So if you're struggling with your emotions or getting in tune with your emotions, this would be a really good crystal to use for that. So one of the ways that you could use this is you could hold it during morning affirmations or meditations, or you could place it under your pillow for more gentle dreams. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend placing this under your pillow. That might be a bit of a lumpy sleep, but you could get a tiny little tumblestone and pop that under your pillow. So the next crystal you could use is citrine, which welcomes in a lot of joy and sunlight energy. So I don't actually have a piece of citrine because a lot of citrine is like heat treated amethyst, which obviously isn't the same thing. So I haven't found a piece that I've been drawn to yet, but I'll pop a picture up so you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you'll recognize it when you see it. But this brings things like warmth and optimism and just kind of joy. Like it's a really happy, warming crystal. It's good for boosting motivation. So if you've got goals that you want to accomplish this summer, for example, I don't adhere to kind of the January like resolutions. I definitely feel like spring is a really good time to write some goals and to work towards, you know, what I want to achieve this year, because you're kind of moving with the energy of the earth. So I feel like spring is the best time to do that for me personally. So you could use your citrine to, again, help set your goals, help motivate you to achieve them, and kind of give you the confidence to achieve them as well. It also helps with things like personal power and embracing just the kind of vital energy that comes with the lengthening days that we're experiencing, which are lovely. In terms of how you use this, I would maybe keep it on your desk. So it's really good, again, for that motivation. You want it on your desk around your workspace, or you could wear it as like a pendant or a ring, for example, to again amplify that confidence that you are searching for. Next up, we have moonstone. So I've got a tiny little sample here, as you can see. So this is very much associated with feminine energy and new beginnings. Again, kind of tapping into the fertility themes that are going on at this time of year. So this aligns with things like intuition, renewal, and of course the divine feminine. The moon is associated, that's my cat. Oh. Okay, we don't need to see that end, thank you very much. Ironically, she's called Luna, so this, you know, she saw her moment and chose it well. So this, I've got the giggles now. So this is really good for connecting with the cycles of the moon or cycles of change as well. And again, for that kind of personal growth. So you could meditate with this during the full moon, or if there's a particular part of the moon cycle that you enjoy working with, or keep it near you whilst you journal for like that sort of deeper intuition. And then we've got amethyst. So this is really good for balancing and like spiritual clarity. It's definitely a stone of inner peace, intuition, and that sort of gentle transformation as well. So you could use this for finding calm in sort of this period of change, if you're going through a period of change, or if you're going through like a particularly stressful period of life at the moment. This is a really great tool to use, and it also helps you to like deepen your spiritual connection as well. So you could use this again in meditation, or as a piece of jewelry would be a really nice way to kind of always have amethyst on you. And then last but not least, we have aquamarine. So I think aquamarine is the birthstone for March as well. I think diamond is the birthstone for April. So it's definitely, you know, kind of on trend, if you will. So this is really good for flow, like the flow of energy, because obviously it's very strongly associated with water, hence, you know, its name, aqua. And of course, renewal as well. So yeah, it connects with that water energy. It's associated with things like bringing you clarity. So if you're, again, setting these new goals and you're a bit confused about what you want to achieve and what you want your goals to be, this would be a great crystal to work with. It's also really good for cleansing. It's got quite like a fresh cleansing energy around it too. So one of the ways you could use it is actually hold it underwater to kind of symbolize washing away any like negativity or stagnation or something like that. So that would be a really cool way of using aquamarine. So there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a kind of vlog of everything that I've been up to recently. I've been itching to do a bit of like repotting with the houseplants. I'm really, really pleased with how they turned out. I think they look really nice, and they're just something a little bit different. As I said, different from just having like houseplants in individual pots. I think it's nice to create this sort of like planting trough with lots of different types of them in. So yeah, I'll keep you updated with how they fare as well. I'm hoping that they will all kind of get on together, if that makes any sense. And also with the seedlings. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those grow and to planting them outside. We're definitely in need of doing something with our garden. Please don't judge it. I know it's a bit of a mess at the moment, but that's a project for another time. As always, if you have any questions about any of the plants or this time of year or any of the crystals, then please pop them in the comments below. I am more than happy to answer them. And as always, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Stay happy and blessed be.